That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Secret Headquarters, the seventh film co-directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman, which Paramount Plus is releasing on August 12th, 2022.
Am I familiar with any of their other movies?
Their first film was the documentary Catfish back in 2010.
Oh.
They also did Paranormal Activities 3 and 4. And
Oh, wait. Catfish is Nev Schulman. So is Ariel his wife?
Ariel is the man.
Oh.
Rel.
Oh, Rel.
Ariel, but Rel is his nickname, I believe. Brother.
Not like Little Mermaid Ariel. Sorry.
They also directed Nerve, and we reviewed their last film, which was a Netflix feature called Project Power, starring Jamie Foxx.
Oh boy. Okay, well.
This film I found to be unpleasant to sit through in every possible way.
And I would use a word I don't ever like using, which is, I thought it was boring.
Because it was. It was co-written by them and Josh Koenigsberg, who's directed. This is his first feature script. Did the High Fidelity series rehash and some episodes of Orange is the New Black.
Okay, the basic story is Owen Wilson, 10 years ago, was out camping with his family when a UFO crash lands nearby. So he goes to investigate, and while he's there looking at this ship, Jessie Williams shows up. And Jessie Williams is in the armed services, but he's also like a conspiracy theorist. He's super into UFOs. So they both get there.
Well, they're called, is it UAPs?
They're not calling them unidentified flying objects, but basically a UFO.
And he has a podcast
About UFOs, or whatever phrase he uses. So this orb pops out of the ship, and like Bluetooth, it's trying to connect to someone. So first it scans Jessie Williams and says denied. Then it scans Owen Wilson and says granted.
Guardian accepted.
Right. Okay, then we flash forward to the present, 10 years later, and we find that Owen Wilson has divorced his wife, or they're divorced, and he's really not spending a lot of time with his son. He's always busy with work.
His name is Jack Kincaid.
Why is Jack so busy? Because he's a superhero called the Guard. It's very generic, very basic. Just like there's this one person out here, superhero, who's saving the planet, and we get little headlines about saving nuclear something or other and wars. And so he's busy doing that. He can't see his son, like really ever, even though he lives 15 minutes away. So it's his son is played by
Walker Scobell,
who we know from that Ryan Reynolds movie.
who was in a very similar Ryan Reynolds film called The Adam Project, which was released on Netflix just a couple months ago.
I didn't care for that movie either.
No.
I think it's better though.
It is, but it's not good.
Yeah, but this little boy who I think looks like Jesse Buckley,
I think he's starting to look like, well, he looks like he could be related to Sophia Lillis from the It films.
I do like him well enough. He plays Owen Wilson's son. And he's mad because he never gets to see his dad. Mm-hmm. But we find him the day before his birthday, and his dad finally says, like, yeah, you can come over, I have some time. Goes to his dad's house, and before the night's over, the dad gets a call, like, oh, gotta go to work, because his son doesn't know he's a superhero. But we do see the boy at school, and he's obsessed with the Guard, of course. So the dad says, well, I gotta go, call your mom, she can come get you. The boy calls his mom, but he didn't really call her. He calls his best friend.
Berger.
Who I remember from that movie,
Good Boys.
Good Boys.
Mm-hmm. Keith L. Williams.
He calls his friend, and the friend says, let's have a rager. And clearly Jessie Buckley doesn't know what a rager is, because the dad leaves, and his little friend Berger shows up with two little raggedy girls from school. And
Residious little girl.
I didn't care for them. And they're being nosy, looking around, and they open up like a secret door, like an elevator, which leads to
hell.
Leads to the Guard's underground secret headquarters. Okay. Over the past 10 years, Jessie Williams has been searching for Owen Wilson and this orb. Mm-hmm. And he's working for Michael Peña, who is the CEO of this arms manufacturer. Mm-hmm. And this arms manufacturer wants to shut down the Guard because sales of like weaponry has gone down since the Guard is out here protecting everyone. So the kids are in this secret headquarters playing with all the technology, and we can get into all that, but because Jesse Williams and Michael Peña are searching for it, they have some sort of like radar that's looking for this technology. It's so vague. It pops up on their radar because the kids don't know what they're doing. The bad guys show up. They sort of take down the kids. Owen Wilson finds out, shows up. He's not able to really secure the situation. They end up getting transferred to a school dance because Michael Peña is able to get away with the orb. There's a final showdown. Owen Wilson's able to get back the orb and lock Michael Peña in some alternate universe. Mm-hmm. And we flash forward a year, I believe.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't.
I
just said that to be funny.
Oh. So now we see that, of course, Owen Wilson has told his son, I'm the guard. Now it's like a family business. So mom, dad, and son are all sort of a part of this. And Owen Wilson and Jesse Williams have reconciled. And the reason they were able to do that is because whoever touches the orb sees like the future. I don't know.
Like in Lord of the Rings.
Like they get answers to questions they didn't know they had.
They can see the dark future.
And Jesse Williams realizes that if this gets into the hands of Michael Peña, it's going to be bad. And Jesse Williams is not bad. He just thinks that everyone should be allowed to use this technology to like protect the earth. So now he's in cahoots with Owen Wilson and they all work together at the end. It's just criminal how like a movie with kids in a secret headquarters space like Batcave, it just plays out so boring. We don't get to see, we do see them use the technology, but it just feels so contained.
It's so contained, it's so derived, it's so dull. Like, there's no magic to any of this.
Well, that's, again, my first note, boring. Second note, who is this movie for? I thought the kids, until you told me who wrote it, I'm like, it feels like a middle-aged man wrote this script.
Very much, because they also have Charlie's Walker Scobell. He's lip-syncing to Anne Murray. My mother listened to Anne Murray.
I'm assuming it's meant to be funny, but it just seems so off. Like, who is this movie for?
It is, especially because it's Lizzie that like the other girls that knows this reference. It's like there ain't nowhere.
Then okay, so I just hated. I think the two boys as friends work really well together, and I think the funniest moments kind of come from them. I mean, it's not like so funny, but I think they're the cutest.
Light chuckles.
The two girls are not very nice.
No.
And their presence just felt kind of toxic and annoying. What I wish this would have been is like the kids are like the Stranger Things kids, where they're like good kids, they're kind of nerdy, they're super into technology. So like finding the secret headquarters, like their minds are blown and they're able to use it to defeat the bad guys. But in this movie, these kids are not like that. So they're very easily taken down. We do get a couple moments where they try to use the technology against the bad guys, but it's not effective. So that was very unsatisfying. That it takes a long time to get to any action, and
we are stuck, so much of the running time, we were stuck in this very nondescript secret headquarters.
Like more than an hour.
Yes.
And very little happens. Once Michael Peña and his thugs show up, it's just like they very easily, capture...
And it's, Michael Peña and Owen Wilson are both doing the exact same thing they do in every film, and it's not funny or charming or...
I think Owen Wilson's better cast, but Michael Peña, and he's doing this thing where he's trying to be funny, but then it's like you don't seem... I wish the CEO of this arms manufacturer would have been like a more serious character who's a little more sinister. Mm-hmm. Michael Peña's kind of trying to be like someone's uncle who has swagger. They use that word a lot.
Yes.
Which also made me think someone older wrote this because like... Who's saying swagger? And they say it like 5 times.
From jump though, when Owen Wilson stumbles upon this crash landing and this, I thought it looked like the beryllium sphere from Galaxy Quest, a miniature version, comes out and immediately is speaking English to these people in a way that lets the audience know what's going on. Sure, but when these kids stumble upon the secret lair, this sphere is saying like secret headquarters. Here you are.
This is very important. This is very important because this is what ruined the movie to me. Owen Wilson is like this singular superhero person who's saving the world, doing all these crazy things. It's all over the news, and his secret headquarters is located at his house, and there's no security. Anyone could just open the thing, get down there, and immediately the orb or the AI in there is saying like, welcome, here are today's events. This is what we've done in the past. You can swipe through. It just is so insanely
And why
ridiculous.
wouldn't he delegate some of the responsibility of this task he has to others? Why wouldn't he have other people working for him?
That's asking for too much. So when we see Jessie Buckley at school, his teacher was garbage, and this lady looked like Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's just such a weird choice to have his school environment be. I guess I don't even understand why they made him such an uncool kid. It just seems like it's trying really hard to do something with this kid that doesn't need to be done.
I hated the school scene because it's that ubiquitous. He's giving this presentation 3 minutes before the bell rings, which doesn't make sense. And
which means the teacher has poor time management.
And then the new student comes in who's integral to this plot, apparently Maya, who has past history with him, who had moved to Turkey and has come back, and he thought it was his fault.
Like, who cares? Okay.
But the school office wouldn't send her in there right there.
Again, we're asking for too much. There is one funny line when, who says his mama's gonna be mad? Berger has an older brother.
Mm-hmm. Who likes Lizzie.
Which is, I don't know. It's just all weird to me. Then when I found out that Owen Wilson's son is supposed to be 14, is that what 14-year-olds look like?
I don't know.
He seemed like, I don't know, kids. He looked 10 to me, so I thought it was weird because he's driving at one point, but he doesn't have a license. But then Berger's brother, who's 16, is also driving. Anyway, maybe I'm just old. I don't know how things are. I thought Michael Peña's character is more annoying than he is villainous.
Yes, for sure.
Which was a real drag.
And then all the special effects used, including Owen Wilson's suit and how they're kind of fighting with these large pixelated objects, it looks like. It reminded me of the original Superman sequel where Terrence Stamp as General Zod gets blasted into the Phantom Zone in that flat triangle.
There are lines like the black kid says, like, nobody touches my fro, and like, okay. There's one bit of technology where they can create like portals to other like spaces, so like you can be here and then also be at the store across the street. So there's a scene where like one of the bad guys is being attacked and part of his body is inside the school. So the school janitor is... I thought that was an opportunity to do something funny, but that's not what happens. Then there's another scene where the two brothers, the two Bergers, are fighting one of the bad guys, and they like drop his pants, so we see him in his underwear, and they're spanking what looks like his crotch with like a whip. I thought that was really awkward. I also think the plot point that Jesse Williams' character is so mad at Owen Wilson for taking the Globe is stupid because the Globe chose Owen Wilson.
Mm-hmm. As it clearly told us all in English.
It literally said in English, like, I don't want you, I want him. And then you spent the next 10 years trying to find him because you feel like he shouldn't have it.
But he's also mad because it apparently scarred his face, which is slightly discolored. He still looks very good. But that is also, he keeps talking about his scarred up face.
When we get to the school dance, there's that final scene where Owen Wilson and Michael Peña fight, and that was so lame. Because the bulk of them fighting is Michael Peña's out of breath because he's wearing the winter suit. He's wearing the winter version. So he puts on the winter version of Owen Wilson's normal suit, so he's hot and sweaty, and he needs a moment to take a breath. And it's just like, I don't understand what this comedy's supposed to be. I don't know. I would love to know like what 13-year-olds think of this movie, because I just don't see it being exciting.
It's stale in a way like that a lot of things are lately, including the Adam Project and Thunder Force with
This reminded me
Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy.
I mean, it's worse than that because
Yes.
at least, I mean, Thunder Force is pretty lame, but I think,
Yes.
you know, it's fun watching Octavia, and Jason Bateman's character I thought was kind of funny as I recall, but yeah. Okay, so then the film ends. I was very confused by this too. So Michael Peña has, well, I know what you're thinking, but before that, the globe, like the power source, because Michael Peña grabs Jessie Buckley and says, I'm going to kill your son if you don't give me the globe. And then the son says, like he looks at his dad and says HBD, which I don't quite know what that means.
Happy birthday?
Oh, is that what it means?
I don't know.
And then he throws a bomb.
Like a little grenade.
Like a grenade, and the orb blows up. And that's what sends Michael Peña into an alternate universe. So I don't understand, like, was it his plan to destroy the orb? And is the orb destroyed? And if so, how do they still have powers? I'm a little confused by that. Then the ending is so lame because we see the family together, like, because Jessie Buckley says, I want to camp like we used to when I was a kid. So that final scene is them camping. And then they get a call saying that they have to go do a mission. And Owen Wilson is like, hold on, I got us a new car. And then the new VW minibus materializes. That looks so lame. And them taking off in it was so lame.
And also, you would not get any time off ever. You would not ever stop working with what they are apparently called upon to do.
I'm okay with it being silly. It's just not funny. It's not, like, the action's lame. The kids were unlikable.
But I mean, if the reality of the situation is you need to sit that stupid ass little kid down and be like, look, I'm busy saving the world.
Well, that's what I really wanted, was the opening for him to say. This just could have been more interesting, but as it is, it was hard to sit through. What would you give it?
0.5. Like, I'm so tired of this Drek. Like, it's tiring.
I would give it a 1. It's not as bad as things I've given 0.5 to, so but it's not good. I definitely wouldn't recommend it.
I mean,
I would love to know what people think in the comments about this movie once they've seen it. Anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.